Did you miss
And let me
this?
ask you, Sheriff.
Yes.
Do you understand the concept of 10 paces?
I thought I did, but now I'm questioning everything.
Well, I'll tell you. We meet every Monday for some good old-fashioned art tools here at high noon at 8 p.m. Central Time. And you know that old dirty dog Dakota hasn't shown his face around here in nigh on a dog's age.
I was gonna say 2 dogs' age.
Even. But look who's that. Look at that strolling into our fresh little town here. It's D-Battery.
It's the battery.
In the flesh. This ain't no AA, this ain't no AAA, no C. Do they even make B batteries? I'm not sure. It's D battery and all the alkaline flesh.
I do be a battery.
You could really energize this town.
That's right.
Zap zap.
Some clean burning energy.
I am filled with acid.
Aren't we all? That's why I take omeprazole. Well, thanks for coming out to our little town. Hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope you brought some drawing tools, because we got some challenges for you tonight.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. So, without further ado, let's just get right to it. Travis, I like your little dino you got going.
Oh, thanks. That's a logo I used to sign pieces with a lot.
Yeah, I remember that now. Now that you reminded me of it.
Am I able to view the other thingies as well?
Yes, you would have to go to the stream for that, or I can pull it up on Discord and stream it through there if you really want.
I can just do it to the Twitch. You're right.
And it gives us that free phantom view.
Yeah.
The system is
Let's
corrupt.
add that viewer count.
Alright.
So, D-Battery, Davey, we're happy to have you here.
Happy to
And
be
I know
here.
you like art. You like subversiveness. I'll downright say it. You're pretty punk rock.
I've been hearing that a lot lately, and I'm very. It's been warming my blood in good ways.
Hell yeah. Let that vitriol for the system run through you. And let's instill that vitriol into a character of our choosing.
Travis, that sounds pretty punk of
you. Wow. That's all I've ever wanted.
This is actually true, like, not even a bit. You have always wanted to be a little punk.
Yep. I try.
And it shows.
I always worry that I'm just a poser.
It's all in the spirit.
Well, I think anyone, to be honest, can be punk if they try hard enough. I don't think really anyone is above or below being punk. It's a mindset, you know?
Yeah, but if you try hard, are you really that punk?
Well, now
you see the dilemma.
Yeah, that you have brought about quite a dilemma here. I think if you got the mindset, you're good. I think if you got the mindset, you can have the clothes so that maybe people will realize just how punk you are just by looking. And then they talk to you and they're like, wow, this guy really is punk. That confirms it.
Let your punk flag fly.
That's right.
Be punk.
Better punk.
Raise your anti-flag.
Than Stunked. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that rings true.
Yeah. Rings true. It rhymes. It must be good.
So without further ado, you got that time pulled up?
I do. You guys gonna take two characters, one character of your choosing, and just punk them up?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. I got 30 on the clock. Are you ready, Davey? D Battery?
I'm already.
Davey Crockett? Let's
I'm
go.
gonna undo all them's. Cool.
It's okay. You can hit the redo hotkey in a couple seconds. So 3, 2, 1, and draw.
I think you mean 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We are sex bomb.
1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah. All right. So I've got a question. We're listening to some Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. It's so hard to say. Soundtrack right now. Does that game have multiplayer?
Not that I'm aware of. That'll be very cool if it does, though.
Yeah, it might just be a chase sequence that they're showing. Shouldn't have to show. Let me look that up.
I know that, what's it called? Hover. That was also a Jet Set Radio spiritual successor. And that one did have... That was, like, focused around having online multiplayer. Thing was that just, like, nobody was playing it, so you couldn't really find anybody to play with. That's cross-platform, though.
Cool online games like that, and the prevalence of them is that you've got to somehow find that community, and it's not always going to be there.
Yeah, it's always a gamble. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is my most hyped thing coming out this year, though. Like, more than any AAA titles, for sure.
Wow.
No, it looks so good to me.
It does.
I like
really
the spirit that's coming through in it.
I just found out from this video that there are bikes as well as skates.
Yeah, he wanted to do an emphasis on not just rollerblading, but like all that skate culture, which is really cool.
That's really neat. So do you think they're gonna have like skateboards and scooters and stuff?
I feel like it, yeah. I think I saw something else, like, I think I have seen skateboards in the footage, if I'm correct.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad as flip.
It's okay.
Rad.
You can curse here. I won't deduct points.
Rad as flip is funny to say.
It's true, and it's also a skate joke.
That's right.
No, that's ride.
Or die.
Well, we prefer you not to die. But that's your own. That's every person's own choice, I guess.
Better get riding.
You're gonna
Maybe
get,
next podcast.
Maybe. Thank you for the follow, by the way.
Yeah. Gotta give the boost.
Oh yeah.
So, did you play Jet Set like on Dreamcast? Is it one of those like grown-up games for you, or was it just? Because like for me, I just kind of stumbled upon honestly the soundtrack first, and then I'm like, wow, this is incredible. There's a whole game behind this.
There's a couple.
Yeah, I know that's a big segue for a lot of people. Is just somehow they found the soundtrack, and it's such a unique soundtrack. Everyone's like, holy shit, what? For me, it was in high school, I was getting a bunch of games for my Wii, and they had Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
And so they
have like
one or two of the characters on it.
Yeah, they have Beat and Gum,
Oh,
and
cool.
they have a couple of stages from Shibuya as stages too. So there's like a lot of opportunities where they just milk using the music.
Yeah, for sure.
So I saw that. I saw Beat, and I was like, this guy just like something about him. He looks so cool. I need to learn more about him. So I went
You
through
need
and
to become him.
pretty much, yeah. As I eventually cosplay him, and I have him tattooed on my chest at this point. So
Oh, wow.
it's kind of an important character to me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just thought he looked really cool. Everything was like grabbing my attention really well about it, so I went for it. And now I'm a big fan. I got a Sega Dreamcast specifically to play it because I was in high school at the time, and I think that was the only way that was available.
There's an Xbox. Well, I don't know how old you are.
I did get the sequel, yeah, Jet Set Radio Future eventually. But the first thing I played was the first one on Dreamcast.
Gotcha. I've never. Well, I've played the original because it's on Steam now. But
Yeah.
I got the Jet Set Radio Future like Sega GT demo disc or whatever on the Xbox. It just came with it, and that's such
That's the version I have on the Xbox too. I like the bundle.
That's such a good launch title. Those two games together. I mean, me personally, I'm not into racing games, but I would imagine it was a fine, racing game.
Yeah, it's decent. It's they always come like they're always trying to be Mario Kart, and that's kind of an issue because you can't like be a AAA game that's dominating it like that.
Right.
But they have enough cool flair and stuff. Like you get to see a bunch of Sega culture, which you don't get to see very often. So it's still a fun like, oh, look at all this. It's a different alternate universe kind of situation.
And you're always gonna get compared to the big name whatever genre game, like military shooter will be Call of Duty.
Exactly.
Bring back the Halos.
I mean, they're trying. Infinite did not do well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, for its time, Halo really did.
Oh, Halo did.
Gangbusters. Yeah, it made it reinvented the genre, kind of.
For sure.
Yeah, I never kept up on it too much, but from what I've heard of from friends who have been like longtime Halo fans, they haven't had anything that's been good for them in a while.
Yeah, what it is Bungie was the original creators, and Microsoft was basically, had them in a stranglehold making Halo games, and they were done making Halo games after 4 of them, I think.
I heard that 4 felt like a proper conclusion too, right? Like it felt like the end of the series.
Yeah, for the most
3 did.
For the most part, I think 3 would have been.
Or maybe 3 is what I heard. Yeah.
The 4th game, well, I guess 5th game that they made, because I forgot about ODST, was Halo Reach, which was a prequel to 1, and that was the one that people were like, all right, that seems like a good spot to stop, and they didn't want to make any more, and Microsoft was like, no, you're gonna make more. So Microsoft made their own, like, they let Bungie go. Bungie like bought themselves out or something, and Microsoft made their own company called 343 Industries that has made Halo since. They made, I think, Halo 4, 5, and I technically think they made Master Chief Collection, but that's just the older games on a new platform.
Okay.
I think 343 just needs to not make Halo games, and they should get new blood to do it, because
it's not their talent.
Yeah, well, none of the games have been fantastic. Like, you went from a series that, like, every release people were like, yeah, this is good, this is the next Halo, I'll play it. Now people are like, I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. And now with the strange environment that we live in, a lot of 343 Industries people have lost their jobs, which is also unfortunate.
A tremendous bummer.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't think Microsoft's really hurting at all.
I couldn't say. I mean, their Game Pass system is going phenomenally well. They're still selling consoles. Yeah.
I always forget what the sales are like on the new Xbox though, Series X.
What do you mean sales? Like numbers?
Yeah, like if they're meeting what they should be or if it underperformed. Like I always forget what the situation is. I always forget the PS5 and the new Xbox exist at this point, honestly. 'Cause
yeah.
They don't get many exclusives, and it's very weird.
Yeah, that's the problem also with the double-edged sword with their recent push for Xbox Play Anywhere is that a lot of their exclusives are also coming out on PC, so there's no reason to own an Xbox. Unless, like,
part of why-
your friends do, or you just don't want to bother with PC games.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I play some games on my PC, and I also have an Xbox One original, so, like, I pretty much have the bases covered. I don't need anything, like, bigger than that to play anything new that comes out.
Yep, I haven't had an Xbox since 360, because, I don't know, there just seemed no reason to.
My phone was a gift, just because literally one of my friends was bringing it over, and, like...
You just left it?
We just left it there, because we were only playing it whenever he came over.
Oh, yeah.
Then he just didn't need it after that, so
That's funny.
we just kept it.
Yeah, it just they were losing the console war for sure,
Yes.
and then they tried to pivot with the Game Pass and everything, but it just doesn't.
Function how they...
It's not necessarily a smooth move,
Yeah.
like making everything available on. It's just weird because they're splitting their focuses on console and PC, but like personally, I use a PC more because I use it. It's more utilitarian for me.
Well, for most people, like, you still can't browse Facebook on a console, as far as I know, unless maybe it has a web browser and you could do a really bad experience with Facebook. But, like, there's so much more you can do on a console than you could on a PC than you could on a console.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it'd be way more expensive for me to build a
Oh, for
PC
sure.
that could compete with a console, performance-wise. But
Depends on what you want out of it.
And the Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch, like, aims for being that family system that, like, anyone can afford and pick up.
Yep. And
Also having, like, a big quality library. So that always has, like, the other, like, section of games I look into covered, so...
yeah, I've been a strong PC, PlayStation, and Nintendo fan for a while, because there are some PlayStation exclusives that, until recently, they haven't been bringing to PC. Like, I think the new Ratchet & Clank is the first time we've had a Ratchet & Clank on PC, and that's a 20-year-old series.
Yeah, that was also supposed to be a PS5 exclusive, but now it's on PC. It's like, okay, well,
So Death
don't need a
Stranding was,
PS5 then.
yeah, Death Stranding was supposed to be a PS4 exclusive, and now it's on PC. Same with Horizon.
Last of Us as well.
Yep.
Like, hey, it'll get you guys more sales, so it's not like it's a bad thing, but it just throws me off.
It depends on if they want software sales or not, because software sales are where they make their money. That and little microtransactions. They actually all makers, maybe not Nintendo, lose money on consoles.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I remember when that was happening really badly with the PS3 too, because they had
Oh,
to slash the price so much.
Yep. Even at $600 or whatever it debuted at, they were still losing money. I think it cost them like $800 to make or something. Like, I think they said that in order to break even with somebody buying a PS3, they have to buy like 7 games.
Oh yeah, I mean, eventually they absolutely would, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, if they're new. If they're used games, they don't see that money. But then you also
Oh, fair.
have to factor in the digital storefront. They see all of that money.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, most of it.
Give some pittance to the developers.
Yeah, you know.
I guess they worked hard on this game.
Yeah, I'll give you 20%.
Maybe they deserve a wage.
There was some company that just unionized, but I can't remember what it was.
Grinder.
Did Grindr?
They did.
Oh wow. No, it was a gaming company. I can't remember what it was. There's been a couple different unionizations recently.
If I'm correct, Sega of America was the first American one to officially do it.
That's so cool.
It was really good.
Good on them. I love that actors are unionizing because, or they're unionized, but they're striking, and I mean that just it's created such a push for everybody to unionize.
Yep. Did
So
you
important.
did you see what The Rock did?
Yeah, he donated like 6 million, if I'm correct.
It was some crazy number to the Writers Guild to for their like emergency funds.
Yeah, very big.
Hell yeah.
The Starbucks I work at was the first one. Not the first one. We were one of the first ones to unionize an STL, so that was pretty good.
Hell yeah.
When we go on strikes, it's fun. It just feels like a family barbecue. Like everyone's having a chill time.
My sister worked at one of the ones that was fighting to unionize up there off of is that I think it was up off of Lindbergh. I forget what the area is. I think it's Town and Country technically. But yeah, I think they're still dealing with all that because management just kind of cold shouldered them and decided to just hold out. Wouldn't even do sit downs or anything.
Yeah, they love to do union busting and just trying to avoid. They just avoid doing anything so that it can't happen now.
Yeah, it's insane, but they keep at it, and I learned a lot about unionizing through talking with her coworkers and everything.
Yeah, it's cooler than you'd think going in.
Did you hear what the whatever company the Writers Guild are unionizing against? What they said their plan was?
Are you thinking of the?
Maybe I
I
am.
forget if it was Disney.
It
was one of the CEOs of one of the places. I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say.
I can look up specifically who, but they basically said that they were just gonna let this strike go until September, when all of the people will just lose their housing and have to come back to work.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
These like straight up said like they can starve.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yep. And it's like, why?
Oh yeah, that's what Ron Perlman responded to.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. Why would you just go out and say that? Why are you advertising that you're the villain?
They've lost
because
they don't see it that way, I guess.
Yep.
I don't think they care.
Yeah, true.
I know someone said like what they're doing is a necessary evil, quote quote. And it's like, yeah, okay.
There's 13 minutes left, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, this show has been a tremendous exercise in time management for me. I don't know.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't have this much done by this time.
You really got to pick what you want to prioritize with this. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I always tend to put too much time into the sketch and trying to, but it usually does turn out for the better too. Like I usually end up getting a better pose and everything.
Oh yeah, like investing time in the early on always yields a better result in the piece as a whole. But if it's, I mean, we kind of gamify the whole system here, so it's just a unique experience.
Yeah, I know a lot of artists that gotta like put themselves on timers too to make sure that they're being productive too, because time management importante.
Sure is.
Oh, I imagine you.
I wish I were better
get
at it.
Lost in the sauce.
Absolutely. Like, I've had a drawing. We do Thursday streams, and it's usually just me kind of working on, whatever. just something really chill and short. But I've had one piece I've been working on just like a single step at a time in streams, and so like I designed a character, sketched and lined in one stream, then I picked a color palette in another stream, and I didn't even get to shading. I did a lot of like shading and light work on my own time.
Yeah, just whatever taste feels right. Is what
Exactly.
matters.
Would you say that designing a character is your favorite part?
For me,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'd say same as well. If I could just be a full-time character designer, that's probably what I'd like to do.
For what medium or for who?
I do character design for my game, so that's a part of it. But like, if I could just be roped into a project, be like, oh, we're making a cartoon, we're making a video game. I think I'd prefer a video game at this point, just because I think they're such complicated mediums that it fascinates me to have them made. Like, people really don't give them enough credit for like how much work goes into it.
Oh, it's just to
Most
make
people just don't.
just to make like an environment. It's just an astounding amount of work.
Environments are so hard to. Those are like my weakest point, is like drawing backgrounds and environments.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that. I can, my project, my game, like I have to do that because no one else knows how or like has it in them. So that's how it is. But it's oof.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk some more about your game? I know I saw that news that came out on it, and I think it's really cool. I'm excited for you and really looking forward to the game.
Yeah, we've been really like polishing the engine lately because it's so hard to describe when you have like concept of a game, but it takes so long to make. So when you make a game trailer, you have to make it look like the proof of concept. You have to show, oh yeah, this is what the full quality product will look like. But then you actually play the game and it's not like that because there's so many pieces to making it and perfecting it and blah blah blah.
That's what a lot of people will do when they're coming to like publishers, is they'll present them with what's known as a vertical slice, which is when you take a little real small chunk of a game and you polish it to release quality, or at least what you feel is release quality.
That's pretty much what we're working on right now. We're getting a playable build demo, one that shows quality and gets the idea across, but still is like, oh yeah, we need funding to do more of this. How do you guys feel?
Yep. That's also the rub, is how long do you spend working on the demo or the piece that you're presenting compared to the actual game, and how much time and money and effort do you want to put into it?
Yeah.
That's the great equalizer, ain't it?
The balance. Yeah, because once we actually get around to publishing it, to having a publisher, which potentially likely, because I won't get into the reasons why.
Right.
Say it's likely, but the last direct that we had was streamed too by a publisher that I'm already pretty chummy with.
Oh yeah.
So we were just really happy about that because I'm friends with a couple people in the Paperverse that are helped out by this publisher.
Hell yeah.
And it was the first time
would
we
you
had a
mind-
sponsorship for one.
Would you mind talking more about the kind of explaining the Paperverse for the folks at home?
Yeah, it's a community online of people who are really fond of the classic old Paper Mario games. It's a series that doesn't... It's one of those situations where the entire concept of the game switched around, and the newer games don't really follow what the original concept was anymore.
Right, yeah. They're a lot more
So-
actiony, or you don't have partners really. They've changed
Yeah.
a lot.
And I do like the new one. I liked Origami King a lot, actually. It had story elements that I really liked. It gets kind of philosophical.
You
But,
know, even what the fuck was that? New Paper Mario did that I was surprised about.
The Origami King, most likely.
Oh no, the one on the Wii.
Oh, Super Paper Mario?
Paper Mario, yeah.
No, that one's wild. That one's like... that one gets into like some edgy, crazy stuff. That was
Yeah.
a really good game to find in high school whenever I was fully getting edgy.
Yeah, was not expecting.
Yeah. but they can get wild, and people really want to see these games back again. So
Yeah,
a lot
for
of
sure.
indie developers have gotten together, and we have these directs for Paper Mario inspired video games.
Have you seen? You probably have. Is it called Bug Fables?
Yeah,
That game's pretty cool. It's pretty Paper Mario like.
yeah, they did a really good job of replicating Paper Mario 64 specifically.
Yes.
They when we had the last Paperverse Direct, we had a sale for the Paper-like games afterwards, and Bug Fable was a part of it too.
Awesome.
Yeah, the devs of that are really nice. They put so much heart and soul into the game.
You could tell.
Yeah, you can tell what they liked about Paper Mario.
And I like that the characters were not as pardon the pun, two-dimensional as I expected them to be.
Yeah, no, I kept thinking, okay, this is gonna be like the one gimmick or the one talking style they have. Haha, gonna be amazing. But like they would always have like some new layer to their personality or some interesting storytelling. And
Yeah, I thought it was a really nice game. I never beat it because I was playing it on Game Pass and they took it off.
that's fine.
Yeah, I just have to
I
buy
do
it.
like
Oh,
it.
no.
It's not my favorite of Paper Mario inspired games that I've seen so far, but
What are some
it-
other ones you would recommend then?
right now I need to peek directly at it just to have them like rush through my head.
Right.
I think of Deltarune Chapter 2 though.
I have
That's-
yet to play Deltarune. Just waiting for it to fully release.
You will be waiting a while. The
Oh, I
data
know.
does like the data does like carry over between chapters when the updates happen.
Yeah, I feel like I would restart anyway because I won't remember it well enough.
That is completely valid. I understand.
Yeah.
They do like they are like the length of entire games though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like Chapter 2 specifically is like 10 hours to play it like casually
Hell yeah. And
because there's so much stuff packed into it.
I play those very slowly. It took me years to play Undertale and I played the fuck out of it.
It's so good.
So it's not like a Paper Mario style RPG, but I always recommend people try out a game called Chained Echoes. I really liked that one. It's a sort of a modern SNES era RPG.
I've heard the name. I don't know much about it past that though.
Well, it was, I think, made primarily by one guy, which is always crazy to me.
Always based. It's always insane to me because
Yeah.
we have a team working on my game because video games are so complicated, especially RPGs. RPGs have a lot in them too. Like so many variables you have to account for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you keep saying some cool things about it.
Yeah, I was just trying to think. The battle system's pretty cool. It's got two different battle systems depending on if you're inside of a. Some characters have these mechs that they use, and you get to do some larger scale mech combat, which is pretty weird in an RPG. The normal
It's a
battles.
unique concept. I like that.
Yeah, and it also gives you a sort of a fake Z-axis, like you can sort of fly above the levels too. Outside of the mechs and the primary combat system, you have this like heat mechanic, and you have like a heat bar on the top. And if you're in the green zone, which is like the middle chunk, you'll take less damage and do more damage. But if you raise your heat too much, you'll overheat, and then you'll take more damage and deal less damage. So you have to use specific move types like spells or healing arts or just hits or debuffs or whatever. It'll show a little icon on the top of the screen, and if you do that, it'll lower the heat gauge. But if you don't follow that icon, that changes whenever you use them. It'll raise the heat gauge. So you have to play with that while you're fighting them. It's I definitely recommend it. It was a pretty unique take on the whole genre. It plays with tropes while still acknowledging and subverting them, because it is very much this guy enjoyed old school RPGs, but not like Halo, like Final Fantasy 1 or like Dragon Quest 1. A little newer than that. So it's kind of like, how would the genre be if games of that style kept being made and kept progressing?
You'd probably be interested in one Paperverse game that actually I definitely have a bias towards because one of my friends from STL is the director behind it. He's also helping with my game too. Also inspired by well, no, it's a. I'll just have to explain the concept. It's anti-RPG is how he describes it. There's a lot of things about classic old school RPGs that he doesn't like.
Mhm.
Things like relying on RNG, things like things just taking too long, waiting too long, blah blah blah.
Right.
He has a turn-based video game, but it's categorized as Paperverse just because of how it uses like the action commands from Paper Mario, where you have to like press the buttons to do the attacks. It's very high speed, focused on that, and you're pretty much this character going around like bullying all the enemies, just like ruining their days, finding ways to make them suffer, and like the more you beat up the enemies, you like build up combos. It's turn-based. It looks like a NES game with the graphic style that he's going for and the music that he's going for. It gets the concept down pretty cool. If you are a fan of the aesthetic of those arrows without liking the games of those arrows in a way, it's gonna hit something for you.
What's it called?
Slime Breaker.
Oh,
with
yeah.
a Y.
Yep, I was looking at a list of Paperverse games on a Twitter
Yep.
or X or whatever they want to call it now.
I like the Doom parody it has for like the cover too. You gotta make the slime suffer.
That's really cool.
Fellas, I got some bad news. That's time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Is it time?
It's time.
That crept up fast.
Oh, I know.
Sure does.
That's why I try to give you a halfway warning. Well, Travis, why don't you go ahead and tell me about your piece?
Yeah. So I was working with a character. I binged through like this entire series while I was working on my cosplay recently. It's Craig of the Creek.
That's what I was thinking it was at first.
I don't
Hells
know.
yeah.
What is?
It was a really amazing show just about kids playing in a creek. I'd say it was because it's one of the ones that got kind of ended by the great Warner Brothers animation purge, I guess. But it was through Cartoon Network, and it's really dope. I stumbled across it because Jeff Rosenstock did the theme song for it.
Oh, cool. That's how
And
I
that's
found
one of my... Oh, nice. Oh, because of Mission Hill?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, like, it's such a delightful show. It's very ska. I love things that are very kid imaginative.
Yeah, like Rugrats, or did you ever see the show Clarence?
Yes, I loved Clarence.
Clarence was like surprisingly wholesome.
Mm-hmm. And it just had like these really fun characters that are all just kids, and they're just interacting with growing up in really fun, silly ways. And it shows such like a wide swath of families and stuff.
Yeah.
And Craig the Creek especially is very like it's very inclusive and representative and like queer friendly.
Yeah, I heard it shows a
And
wide variety of like different families that exist, and I know there's non-binary characters. They like talk about pronouns being cool and stuff, and I'm just like,
Hell yeah.
you got it, my guy.
It sounds
and
like
it doesn't even...
if Rugrats was around now.
It is around now. You gotta read it on Paramount.
Stop it! I forgot about that.
It's very ugly because they went for CG, which is not the point of the original show. Was that it was weird with the 2D animation, very stylized.
Yeah,
that
because
was
like
also just
it's
the animation of the time too.
Yeah.
but like Rugrats specifically had that kind of like weird, I want to say somewhat gross, very jumpy line work art style
Yeah,
because it was Baby Vision.
I guess so. Yeah.
A lot of it like played with low perspectives too, because you were always from the children's angle, which is not a thing you see very often as an adult. So
Yeah, they always made
give
the
you
adults
some
seem
little perspective.
huge.
Yeah,
Well, adults are huge whenever you're
It's true. They're
You know.
monsters.
a foot tall.
Yeah. When every adult is like 5 times your height minimum.
So, Davey, who do you got for us here?
so once we had the prompt, the term Punkachu just wouldn't stop going through my head. So I began to draw a punk Pikachu. Unfortunately, didn't
Hell
make
yeah.
it to his tail, so I guess he lost that in some kind of
It's just
tragic event,
it's
life-changing event.
body modification.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, we can do that. It could be a non-binary Pikachu
Yeah.
since
Exactly.
the male ones have the flat tails and the female ones have the hard tails. He cut it off to make a statement.
Hell yeah. We respect non-binary Pikachu here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know one of the games has a. Well, not one of the games. I think it was the anime or at least promo art. They've made a trans Pikachu.
Whoa,
Like,
I didn't know
literally
about
Yeah, it has like the flat little tail, but it has the heart taped onto it, so it looks like it's female instead.
that. Oh, yep, I see
Really
that.
cute.
That's cute.
Yeah, I love it.
Hell yeah, Punkachu. It's
Punkachu.
a regional variant. They either started in New York or London, and wherever they came from, they're very vehement about punks starting there.
I might finish this later just because I had a whole guitar sketched up for him too, so might
Oh,
need to
hell
add
yeah.
that on. Yeah, because I'm gonna do electric guitar. Hee hee.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Alrighty, what's coming up next?
I'm glad you asked. We got on to Bomb Rush Cyberpunk a bit and Jet Set Radio. I want you guys to draw up just a rival gang or gang member of your own
Ooh,
choice, and I have some words for you to go off. So I'll give you an adjective and a noun, and you get to have fun with that. However, I'm gonna give you a choice of 1 to 5, Travis.
Give me 5. Balls to the wall.
All right, you got a meek, meek emphasis.
Meek emphasis, okay.
So good luck with that. Same for you, Davey. 1 to 5.
Let's go 4.
All right. I'm gonna give you 4 and 4, just like Travis. You got bewildered inspection.
Wildered inspection.
So yeah, have fun with that. I got 30 on the clock. You guys ready?
I'm already.
Hell yes. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, draw.
Took me a second, but I think I got a concept in mind already.
Wow, that was fast. That really did take you a second. Another non-standard RPG I always loved was the Superstar Saga.
Oh yeah, no, that's the base for what my game's actually using.
Oh hell
That with some Paper Mario elements mixed in. I like parts of both of the game designs.
yeah, I always loved the reactive element of them with the active battle system.
Yeah. I know that had an influence on Undertale's battle system
Oh,
since it's like all or nothing with how the damage goes.
Undertale
Yeah.
was so great.
Oh yeah,
I can't
It's-
sing enough praise.
it's so good.
I didn't experience it until like 2020, so I was many years removed. It just got too popular for me. So like
Oh, yeah?
like a stupid child, I saw something that was too popular and thought, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh yeah, that's a bad impulse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like
Things like
that for
that.
a while with things, but I realized as long as it has enough elements that appeal to me just like by looking at it visually.
Right.
I'll probably like it.
I had that same outlook as well, but I think it's largely in part because like we grew up with the monoculture, there being a huge mainstream, and us kind of finding these niche little things we like that were outside of the mainstream. But
Yeah.
you know, around that time when things were getting really popular, and turns out those things were really good, you know, it was a hard transition. Like I wasn't late to Adventure Time, but I kind of spurned it just because that's not the shows I like. The shows I like aren't on the air.
Right.
I knew a lot of people that were reacting that way at first too. Yeah, I've been rewatching Adventure Time recently, and I'm very happy that like absolutely holds up and wasn't just a trend too.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, some people don't like the slow burn continual story.
At the very least, the first season is like just its own thing.
I think
So quotable.
I think the second season they start coming into it more, and that's probably the one that I like more. But I liked Adventure Time from the start. There was never. I don't know if there are many episodes I don't like of Adventure Time.
Yeah, when it first started, I remembered catching it on the air and just being amazed by how ridiculous it could get.
And how like actually smart it can be at times. Like, there are jokes that are like kind of non-jokes that are just the best part.
Yeah, it shows a lot of its kind of like esoteric influence, and a lot of that shines through Jake.
Yes. The show would be so much worse without Jake or Finn, like just the main cast in general.
Yeah, because Finn's, you know, the naive child who's gung-ho adventure, and Jake is the not nihilist, but kind of zen, spiritual, explorative older brother.
Yeah. You need one to have the other, really, I feel.
They have very good chemistry.
I recently started watching not Family Guy, Jesus Christ. Futurama again.
Yeah, that's my
yeah.
most like rewatch show ever.
So
I'm always down for Futurama.
On rewatches, I've grown to appreciate it more, because like there was a time there when I'm like, oh, it's just like Simpsons joke setups, but there's always so much going on that like I wasn't
picking
the
up
first
on it.
watch throughs. I was never really picking up on like the more clever parts of the show.
Yeah. Apparently, most of the writers had multiple master's degrees.
Yeah, they were super overqualified to be working on a cartoon, and it paid off in very good ways.
I was trying to figure out why it got why it kept getting canceled. I think they just kept putting it on like sports times and moving it around on its time slot, and that just killed its ratings.
I'm sure that just because it wasn't traditional family lives together TV show, they were like, okay, this is doomed. We're not gonna even try.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's often a deliberate move by networks. Like they don't. That's why niche stuff doesn't typically survive the network system, because they'll, if somebody has a contract, like they can move it around time slot wise in the like lifespan of the contract sometimes, and kind of kill the show so they can, you know, funnel money towards
Family.
Who Wants to Be a Hot Lava Millionaire or whatever.
So crappy.
I thought they were really reaching when they put the show in a volcano, but I mean, it did make it more interesting.
It was only accessible on one TV that they hid away in a temple.
Legend.
You
of
guys
the
watch
Hidden.
Nathan For You?
I've not.
It's
But go
it's
on.
one that's good to not spoil a surprise on. I won't talk about it further, but I recommend. I thought about it with
Yeah.
the one TV thing you said.
You said Nathan for you.
Yeah.
I've heard of the
I
name.
mean, the concept of it, Nathan Fielder is a very dry comedian,
Yeah.
and he
Very
goes around as
monotone.
he goes around as a business consultant and tries to help these businesses that reach out for his help.
Like
And
Kitchen Nightmares. Not Kitchen Nightmares, that's a bit more aggressive, but like, you know, the concept like, oh, these businesses need help, I'm gonna go help them out.
but you know, he's a comedian. Did you watch his newer series? I forget the name of it.
The Rehearsal.
Yes.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard it's good.
It is its own
It's-
thing.
Incredible, yeah. It's his style, but kind of just elevated.
Just
But
the
you can
insane
watch-
budget with what he goes for in this one.
Oh yeah, it was large. Large parts of it seemed like, hey HBO, Time Warner, I'm gonna spend all your money.
Maybe that's why they had to do the merger.
Maybe. That reminds me.
'Cause-
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a large part of it really early on in the show, without giving away too much, he recreates an entire bar in a soundstage, and then just uses that as a set piece for the entire show. And that was, there's no way that was cheap.
No.
Just his own personal bar.
I think that was just. I
Yeah.
want this as a write-off so I can take it home.
He just goes to
Yeah.
it later when he gets depressed and starts drinking.
Yeah. I thought you were going home for the night. I am home.
It's really good. And like the tone of the show had me worried because like in the same way Eric Andre, like that show, like I have less of a stomach for now these days because I'm like, I
Awkwardness.
worry when people are kind of the victims and I don't know how much, like how in they are on the concept.
I don't know. I feel like anyone who goes onto that show knows they're gonna get fucked with.
No, a lot of times people don't do their research,
Oh my
and
god.
he gets on them, and it's really fucking chaotic.
Like Eric Andre went out of his way, like the producers of the show went out of their way to find people who weren't really familiar.
I know in one season they like had like fake footage of what their show was like to make it look like a professional talk show, and then they would
That's
send that out
so
to different
great.
agents.
That's insane. I love when, like, this is an early season 2, like Tyler the Creator goes on there, but he's already familiar with Eric Andre, and he also had a kind of goofy prank show with Adult Swim.
Lawyer
So
Squad.
he was just in it from the get-go. Yeah, Loiter Squad was awesome.
He's just like, all right, I'm back. I know the rules here.
Exactly.
It's really funny when they got Lil Nas X. I thought that he would have been someone that would have known what to expect, but he really didn't. He kept really being taken off guard.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they
They
also do like 3 or 4 hour things just to chop it up for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
kind of an endurance test.
I mean, they also like put the heat on like at maximum settings. That's why they always look really sweaty.
I just figured they wrestler oiled him up for that.
Nope, they like everybody is sweating in the office at all times because they want everyone to be miserable for the show.
What a great work environment.
Isn't it?
Have you watched The Prank Show at all?
No.
I've seen ads for it, but I have not watched it.
It just started airing on Hulu. It's Johnny Knoxville, Eric Andre, and I forget the third host's name because I'm not really familiar with her outside of this. But they, like, it's a network show, but it's them kind of doing their own thing. But people come in and pitch pranks they want to pull on people they know, and they decide whether or not they want to try and execute them.
Like guillotine style?
That hasn't been a prank yet, but
That's a good one.
That would be a pretty funny prank.
Gotcha. All right, get up.
All right, put your head back on.
and Johnny and Eric are actually pranking each other on set all the time.
Sounds like them.
Because, like, Eric, there's a point where, and this is, like, in some of the promos, where Eric tries to cattle prod Johnny, but Johnny's just so used to it that he's, like, unfazed by a cattle prod. So he just takes it and then comes back at him with a taser.
I got one for you. Wow.
It's really good.
My friend recently showed me I Think You Should Leave. That show's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
It makes me
because I think
of Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah, it's like the way I think Tim Robbins described it was that it was rejected SNL sketches, because I think he did write for SNL.
I don't
So
know
it's just like taking that sketch concept and ignoring the part where you try to make it more appealing to a broader audience.
Yeah, that sounds about right, and to me that makes it so much better.
Exactly. It's not makes it less marketable, but that's
Sure.
the tightrope you walk, but it's
More
doing
memorable.
really well
Yeah.
because it's like a lot of the comedians I listen to adore that show.
It's because it's so like absurd.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely need to check it out.
Yeah. I don't remember what it's on. It might be on like Hulu or something.
It's on
Well,
Netflix, unfortunately.
Netflix, okay.
I just
Watch it illegally.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I like to sail the high seas at this point, just because streaming services are being weird lately.
Yeah.
Netflix especially.
Yeah.
If you guys are decent to your employees, maybe I'll subscribe again. But
Unlikely.
nah,
Never. It's an all-out war at this point.
pretty much.
The revolution is upon us.
It is. It is. The end
And it
is
just
nigh.
took the leading American industry to leading and most public-facing industry in America to really move things in motion.
So happy to see so much unionization, though. That was a thing that I
Yeah.
wanted to happen, like back when the pandemic first started. I was like, doesn't feel right, guys. We should I've been studying unionization for a while. We should really start doing this. And last year, we finally unionized. We've been unionized for a year now. I'm happy to see everyone else hopping on board with it too, because I was like, this seems like what we should be doing right now.
Yeah. And I mean, it's largely PR, unfortunately, because a lot of the people in power are able to put out PR against unions.
We
And
had
that's where a lot of back in the day, a lot of the right to work state stuff came around.
we had a lot of union busting, anti-union meetings whenever it first started too, because people high up were the store managers were instructed to read off this list of things with us. It was unfortunate.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of scare talk and fear mongering to try and dissuade it, because they don't. And legally such a nebulous idea anymore. But legally, they're not allowed to actively union bust. But all of legality is finding out ways to circumvent those things.
Yep, exactly. It rode on the border of almost not being union busting because technicalities.
I think we're in an era where what's legal holds such a so little weight because if you have enough money, you can hold up people in court. And was it Wizards who recently actually sent in Pinkertons?
Yes.
Starbucks did as well.
Jesus.
Yep, that's great for your reputation, guys.
But we're in a culture of convenience, so it takes a lot of bad PR to actually send a message.
Yep, unfortunately. People will say some really weird stuff to us whenever we're closed because we're on strike, and it's like, you guys should listen to what you're saying. Listen to that again. It's if you were on the receiving end, I don't think you would be happy.
Quick aside, where we at time-wise?
We're at 12:40. I just didn't want to interrupt.
12:40 left or 12:40
Remaining.
Wow.
I know. The last prompt will be longer, if that helps.
Yay.
Anyway, if you're out there and you're not part of a union, maybe look into it.
Unfortunately, there's no hotel union, as far as I know. Or at least no IHU.
Yeah, part of it involves like
Yet.
Yeah.
educating people nearby and letting them know, because you can always hit up the United Labor, whatever they're called, the people, the union peeps. If you do some research, you'll find ways that you can get things organized. But it is, of course, like a community thing. The people there have to like understand what it's about and
Right.
why we're doing this and blah blah blah.
And I mean, a hotel, like it'd be, I think up in the Northwest, there were hotels going on strike.
Yeah, I thought I heard something about that too.
Like, I think it was during, I don't think it was PAX recently, it was Anime Expo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Don't want to deal with con people.
a podcasting group I follow were starting their tour and just learned about a bunch of union strikes going on, and they're like, yeah, okay, but like, you know, we're going on tour, so I hope it doesn't, you hope it doesn't interfere because, everybody's in their own microcosm, but ultimately it's for the greater good.
It is. It'll make your job a lot better too.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody deserves to live.
Everybody does deserve to live.
You know who especially deserves to live?
Kirby.
Nevins for
Kirby.
subscribing.
Wow.
Thank
Wow.
you, Nevin.
Thanks, Nevins. 7 months!
7 whole months. That's more than half a year.
Big old casino winner there.
That's true. Speaking of the casino, I wonder if the casino is open.
Dojo Casino.
Oh, casino's open.
Mojo Casino House.
Have you played No Straight Roads, Travis?
I have not.
Are you familiar with it?
No.
I feel like you'd have a good time. It depends on what you value in a game, but the reason I suggest it immediately is because it has the very Psychonauts-inspired character designs.
Ooh, I value that.
Yeah, it has that kind of art style going for it. It's not made by the devs, but the characters like straight up look like they're out of Psychonauts. It's a rhythm game that's also like a hack and slash game. The reason why I bring caution to it is because some people tend to not like the gameplay because it is kind of clunky. If you don't like dealing with something that doesn't control the best, it might not be for you. But if that's a thing that is whatever to you, it is very cool time.
I have probably wider margins for that than some folks. I gave Sunset Overdrive a fair shake, but it just turned out to be too clunky for me.
That's valid.
Because
No
like
Straight Roads EDM focused and super anti-capitalist like punk theme to it too. So
Hell yeah, I might have actually seen stuff on this.
It came out in 21, maybe.
yep.
Yeah, I think I actually had an old roommate recommend it to me for those same reasons.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out when you have time. If I'm correct, it goes on sale a bunch, so shouldn't be hard to nab at any point.
Yep, the Encore edition, which is the only one they sell on Steam, is $25.
Oh, nice. I'm actually pretty deep in Tears of the Kingdom right now, but when I've gotten my fill of that, I'll certainly be looking at that. I'm going to put it on my wish list, though.
People do be liking Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I just beat my second temple. I'm enjoying it a whole lot. I love the building, the exploration. I don't have all the time to invest in, just really pushing the game to its limits, but I'm certainly getting what I care to enjoy out of it.
Yeah, when something's diversely made like that, it's really cool to see how different people can enjoy it for completely different, like have completely different experiences.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I loved about like the whole Switch launch on all these games is like, hey, here's your toolkit, and here's some levels. Just do what you wanna, and chances are you'll find things we didn't even think of because, we gave you a pretty open-ended toolkit.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tears of the Kingdom, especially, like I'm excited to see, like the generation that grows up with this being, their Zelda game, because it really encourages some just very useful skills, like spatial awareness and thinking in dimensions,
Problem solving.
using a map effectively. Like it just really encourages a lot of creative and practical skills that I think will translate into real life very well. Also, just that idea of if at first you don't succeed, because I certainly never had that growing up, but it's a skill I developed later in life, but I hope that other people develop it earlier in life, because it's a tough one, but it's so helpful.
Yeah, you really don't realize how video games can teach you like smaller skills like that kind of subconsciously, just different way that people interpret things.
Yeah.
Another game I've been playing recently that has been giving me a similar like sense of like, oh dude, it's so cool how different people interact with media differently is have you heard of Hypnospace Outlaw perchance?
I have not.
It is basically a virtual like web browser, a fake web browser themed around the aesthetics of 90s internet. So,
Okay.
yeah. So like lots of animated GIFs on every website you go to. Slower loading times. MIDI files that play like for the music for the majority of the game because you are on a web browser in the 90s. But the entire game depends on how good you are at like researching things and using the internet as a resource.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
Yeah. There's like a search bar tool that you use to like search for keywords all over the internet that you're searching. It is, besides mentioning that it's anti-capitalist, I will not say what like happens in the plot because it's very good to keep unspoiled. If you want to get
very story driven.
It's very story driven. It's very unique storytelling just because all the storytelling is just by browsing websites and looking what people are posting on it. You have to piece everything together.
You might like the game One Shot.
I'm not familiar with that. What's that?
It's a No, it's not. This will give you the wrong impression, but it's an RPG Maker game. But it's not at all like a turn-based RPG or anything. That's just the engine that they used.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's a. It's hard to really describe without giving too much away, but you basically play as this little cat creature, and you have a light bulb that you carry around. This like massive glowing orb, and you just have to figure out what the world is because it's not the world that you're from. And it's very meta and just really good.
Description definitely makes me think of Hollow Knight.
Yes, but it's not very actiony at all. Like it's more so like
Okay.
puzzly. It's like a you just walk around, talk to people, and figure out how to progress to the next area. Essentially,
What's it called?
one shot, just one word.
Okay. There's
Definitely
something else I was thinking of that. Was it made in RPG Maker? I think it was. Off, that's what it's called.
Yeah, off was good.
Off was
Very Earthbound.
yeah, very. I know it was the main artistic influence for Undertale's overworld art style, which when you play, you can absolutely
Yeah.
tell with like the color choices they did.
Yeah, it's,
What's it called again?
Off.
yeah, just
Okay.
just OFF.
It's a French video game, a French RPG Maker game.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this the one shot's closer to like Yumi Nikki or something. If you
Yeah, Yumi Nikki's really cool too. That also was very influential on the character designs and some environment for Undertale as well.
yes.
Undertale just picked some really good obscure things to make its influences.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what you want to do with the project. You want to take your passions, and that way they'll really shine through in the product. Hopefully.
I really like it for Undertale's case too, because like he did such a good job of capturing what he liked about those games that a lot of the creators of those things, Earthbound included, like are fond of him. Sakurai's fond of him. Masahiro Sakurai, like
Oh yeah, he did music on the on Smash Bros.
yeah, I'm so happy for him. And I know that he
Yeah.
like brought Toby Fox over to his house at some point too.
God,
I think because
that.
it was-
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
Sakurai's house must be fucking cool.
he has 2 mansions, so
Yeah.
there's that.
I'd love to see what he's into aesthetically.
Yeah, he doesn't show much of it off because I guess there's a lot to show off. I know he has like his own. He has his own like set of workout equipment just for working out while he plays video games.
Oh, cool.
Exercise bike especially is what he likes to do. But yeah, if you could afford that, that's a very smart thing to own, honestly.
An exercise bike?
An exercise bike to like use while you're playing video games.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, you can be active.
Kind of like
I do that.
a standing desk or an exercise ball to sit on. I've
Picked
seen.
up an exercise bike in on Marketplace that I use during the winter when I can't really go out and get some good cardio in,
Yeah.
and the Switch has been a huge boon in that regard.
Oh, I bet the
So I can-
Switch or like a tablet or anything would be super useful.
Yeah.
Do you know?
So I can-
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I can get my cardio in and play, Tears of the Kingdom or
Yeah.
what have you. But what were you gonna ask?
I forgot.
Do I have?
No. Do you know about? Brian David Gilbert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He streams on Twitch his morning bike rides, and he plays games at the same time.
I didn't know he did that. Interesting.
So for a while, I don't know if he still does. He would every day he'd be online at like 7 a.m. Central Time or something.
Seems like an effective multitask.
Yeah. I was like, hey, that makes complete sense. You do like an hour workout or whatever on a bike. That'll do you.
Oh yeah, and definitely keeps in shape.
Yeah.
We were looking at time-wise.
Whoops, we're done.
I guess we're done.
To get this last detail in quickly.
Yeah.
Time is fast and loose out here in the West.
That's right. It moves at its own speed.
So fast.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, such good graffiti on the background. What was yours called again?
Meek emphasis.
Meek emphasis. God, it's so good. I like that we both just had to go for our monochrome color schemes too.
Oh, I love that.
Mine was bewildered inspection. So I put a bit of emphasis on question marks and did something to make her look like an inspector.
Yeah. I think the magnifying glass monocle is a better choice.
It looks like my stream might be a little stretched proportionally.
Let me figure
Yeah, if it wasn't obvious, I based mine off of Andy Warhol.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Notably quiet, and a couple elements of I forget the voice actor's name, but the actor who voiced Gurr in
Ricky Horvitz.
Invader Zim. Yeah.
Richard Horvitz.
No, Richard Horvitz voiced Zim.
Oh,
Ricky Simmons.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very quiet in his normal speaking, but he voices very obnoxious characters.
He does such a good job.
Yeah.
that should.
Oh wait, she has to have 4 fingers at least.
Oh, yep.
There we go.
Nice. Travis, you went first, so Davey, why don't you go ahead and tell me about your piece? I know you basically.
I also put the swan hat because I thought that was a funny detail.
Yeah.
I saw that character design in an Ace Attorney game, and it was like a snooty, rich lady. It wasn't an inspector, it was... I don't know, I just thought it was a funny detail, and I gave the swan its own hat, too.
I love that little Sherlock hat.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for the gang?
Oh, I just assumed the name was Bewildered Inspection.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
Watch out, it's Bewildered Inspection.
Cheese it, guys, the inspectors are here.
They're gonna investigate the garage.
I love I don't know what that fashion style's called. Like, it's very early film era,
Yeah.
like very extravagant.
Yeah, thinking of... Not remembering her name, Marilyn Monroe, yeah.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
it and like the themes together give me vibes of like Clockwork Orange or like a gang from Warriors.
Ooh, that's very specific. I like that.
Like, I could definitely
I
see
didn't
them
think
rolling
of
up
Warriors when
and
doing this, but that totally works.
being like, aha, perchance what have we stumbled upon here? The clues all led to you.
Whenever I think of Clockwork Orange, I always just think of that one anime, Ruby, like literally just taking the guy's design for the villain at the beginning.
Yeah.
Always weird to me. I'm like, what? Want to change him more? Like, I get that you're trying to go for a character inspired by him, but I just think of him when I see it.
No one will notice.
Yeah. That's the line you walk. You either gotta... You want to pay homage, but you don't want to
Rip.
rip off, yeah.
Did not do the balance correctly, in my opinion. Is it alright if I use the restroom quickly before moving forward?
Yeah, we'll actually be right back for a couple minutes.
Ooh, perfect
Yeah.
timing.
Perfect timing. So you guys hang in there. We're gonna go use the bathroom and freshen up. We'll see you in a bit.
Ooh.
Ooh, wait.
Should admit it.
So
I
what?
just got back from using the cactus, and there was an adventurous little house centipede trying to crawl up around there.
Yeah, did you give him a drink?
Nah,
Ah,
he didn't want any of that. House centipedes all friends.
Not food.
so Davey, what did you think of the cactus?
A little painful, but very friendly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Very homely.
you gotta be careful with your aim there, and just the stance is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. You need a real power stance.
I feel a very nice sense of warmth coming from it.
Yeah.
Like emotional warmth. Like I feel very welcome around it, even if it can hurt sometimes.
I mean, that's love, baby.
The
There could also be
good
uranium
love-
under there.
the good love outweighs the uncomfortable parts. It more than balances out.
Now,
That's love.
I think Dakota may have said something about the like night glow, and we just weren't paying attention. Maybe he had some sort of like appointment or something. Maybe I don't know. I don't know where Dakota is, to be honest.
Where are they?
Yeah, I think he I don't know. He moves about his own devices.
We'll keep checking under rocks for him. We'll find him eventually.
I don't think you ever found him after hide and seek.
Yeehaw.
Shit. It's been a week. Couple weeks.
Is he
actually.
still hiding?
Yeah, I think so. He said he did say, "Now guys, I'm really good at hide and seek."
Yeah, when we were giggling and coming up with the idea.
He did have a satchel with him. Maybe he jumped town.
Keep an eye out for circling vultures.
Yep. Or smoke piles, smoke piles. Jesus.
Smoke signals.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Smoke piles.
Hey, come on. I'm so excited. When does Bomb Rush come out?
This year, I know. The thing is that like
Yes.
I'm kind of upset it's coming out this year because Pizza Tower also came out this year, and that is like such a high contender for my game of the year. Also an indie game.
Also the
Jesus
soundtrack.
Christ. It has such a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Such a good soundtrack. They use all the Jet Set Radio samples in it too.
I thought
But
that
there's
sounded
a-
familiar.
Yeah, no, like they use the same. A lot of the games from that era that used samples like that tended to use like the same like remix CD that had those samples on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wario Pizza Tower being very inspired by Wario Land 4
Right.
use a lot of the same sound fonts and sound samples from those CDs. So it's just that era of music as a whole. It's really cool because Wario Land 4 is just a very experimental soundtrack. There's a really, really good video just talking about the sound design of that game. If y'all are interested, I'll send it to you sometime.
Sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I haven't played that game since like 5th grade or something. Like
I think he does a really good job of describing it to where you'll probably remember everything.
okay.
But it would definitely be cool to like give it a replay around the time he does it too,
I'm
because
sure.
there's some things you can just feel and like, wow, how do you sound design video game unique? This is cool.
Oh man, like we should get onto the prompt, but
Yeah, we should.
the amount of effort that went into older like restricted soundtracks was crazy. Because nowadays you can do anything with the technology that we have. Back then you had like 6 channels and they could not overlap at the same time, and you would still get some bangers.
Oh yeah, the layering was
Yeah.
I have something to
incredible.
add to it, but I will wait for the prompt first.
Sure. It's very nice. Try to remember it because it can be difficult. For our final prompt, we were just gonna make some jet set personas. So take yourself and put yourself in that jet set radio, bomb rush, cyberfunk. Sorry, uh, just sort of style. So
We doing this.
we doing this. I got 60.
Establishing our gangs to really take on the villains we just established.
If that's what you want to do, that sounds great to me. So I got 60 on the clock. You guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Hell yeah. 3, 2, 1, and draw. What were you gonna say? You were saving it.
Oh yeah, there was that era around the 90s with PlayStation and N64 when jungle music was having like a really big presence in video games. It's weird. It's like there's a culture for people that appreciate it, but it still feels like it's not discussed enough at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's not in the public eye.
Yeah. Like, it's impressive the N64 could do jungle music because it was like they could basically only handle MIDI samples. Like they didn't have like pre-recorded stuff like MP3s. It was like, did you know how MIDIs work and all that? I assume.
To an extent.
They like have a library of like sound effects to pull from, and they're like basically programming that says when to play those samples and at what pitch. As opposed to like MP3 is just like, you know, a pre-recorded thing.
Right. That makes sense.
So the N64 was like the MIDI thing where they're constantly using samples, but they managed to still get jungle music, which is like really high-speed electronic music sounding like it's something you would hear on a CD. It's wild that they could even do that.
So I wonder how they would get, if it didn't play MP3s, would they just make voice clips into MIDI files? Because like Star Fox, and there are games that have full voice acting. So I'm just wondering.
Yeah, for the voice clips, they'll still do that, but for the music, to save a lot of space, they'll make those like MIDI files.
Yeah, I can imagine they're just so much smaller too.
Yeah. Have you played Banjo-Kazooie?
I have extensive.
Yeah, the way they kind of like sample the voice clips in that game for the talking, because the way they do the gibberish, they have a couple just random voice clips like
Yeah,
usually they'll like shift them in pitch too.
Oh yeah, or speed. You know the mumbo phrase umanaka?
Uminakas.
Yeah, that's actually one of the devs using a voice line they made. That he just said oh my knackers.
Yeah,
it's so
I love Grant Kirkhope.
Yep,
he's such a character.
Oh yeah, he's a treasure.
I love him. I really like Rare games.
Yeah,
Here are some of my favorites.
I was sad when Microsoft bought them.
It was not good.
I mean, Viva Pinata's fine. I didn't really play Grab by the Ghoulies, and then they made the 360 Mii's for like half a decade.
Yeah.
It's a pretty gross waste of talent, in my opinion. But, you know.
I do like Grab by the Ghoulies, but from what I played of it, it was like, it felt like something you would play at like an arcade. It didn't feel like a thing that you'd like, oh, I gotta get this on my console. Like,
yeah, it's not a killer app.
Like, it felt like it would have been really cool to play like in first person in a little like arcade cabinet and have
that could be cool.
All right, voices going out.
Yeah,
the whole like environment like that. I think that'd be a really cool like way to play it, but it feels like they were designing something like that and just kind of moved it to that, and I don't know, it's not
just did not
impressive necessarily. It's not bad, but it's not groundbreaking or anything.
Yeah, it's not the system seller they may have been hoping for.
It's no Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Didn't they also make Cameo?
They did. My friend recently gave that a try because we're all big Rareware fans in my friend group.
Mm-hmm.
He was really trying because he really likes Rare and he really wanted to see what it was about, and it just did not keep his attention. He really was trying to give it a shot too.
Now, I don't remember it really. I remember I beat it, but it was, I think, a launch 360 title, and I think
Yeah.
if they had had another year to work on it, or another 6 months or whatever, it could have been something really special, and they just didn't execute how they wanted to.
Yeah. My only experience with it was playing the demo at Walmart.
Yes, that was my main experience until I rented it. I miss renting games.
I mean, we're in a whole new age.
Yeah, now you get to stream an hour of it, maybe, if you're lucky.
Speaking of the Walmart demo, one thing as a collector that I I bought while I was researching something was one of those demo
Kiosk discs?
kiosk discs.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it wasn't very expensive. It was like the price of like a normal game. It was like $50. I think I got it like at a really good time. And you can put that in, and you'll just feel some good nostalgia from how it feels to play one of those.
Oh, for sure. My dad used to get PC Gamer, an old magazine, and they would come out with demo discs every so often. So I just have like a shoebox full of demo discs of old PC games. And it's just fun
I
to
know
bust out.
PlayStation was really good about doing that too.
Yep, the PlayStation Underground disc.
Is that the one that came with the Pizza Hut promotion or whatever?
Yes, there was one, I don't remember which, that had a really, really bad memory card corruption glitch. It could just kill your entire memory card.
I had Mad Cats. Didn't do it for me.
Mad Cats was not good.
I always wondered where you would get those like 6 times the size memory cards that would just corrupt every 3 months. Like, why would they? What was their secret, and why didn't it work?
Probably just bad hardware.
Yeah,
Like, you
I
can
guess
still
so.
get flash drives that do the same thing.
Yeah, and hard drives.
Yeah, I had that issue with a terabyte hard drive back when a terabyte was like
Very expensive.
the forefront.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had to be plugged into a wall outlet and it had its own power inverter.
Oh, I've had those. You were the talk of the town because you could fit, I don't know, 4 of your computers in it.
Yeah, I could fit all of One Piece at the time.
Yep.
I have finally begun watching that.
Oh, what do you think? Where are you?
Hell yeah.
It is. I am very impressed with how punk ideals actually are like all over it. So that makes me very happy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good about creating like dimensionalized quote unquote heroes and villains.
Yeah. I was just expecting normal shonen tropes because what I've seen a lot of.
There's plenty of time for that.
Oh, you'll get that.
But I'm at least happy that it like punches the ideals because my coworker's a really big One Piece fan, and she's constantly told me about how Oda is like a super big leftist.
That particular coworker is actually a friend of ours.
Yeah, I forgot about it. They've
Yeah.
told me about experiences with you.
Yeah, Taylor.
Yeah, they go by Trisha now at this point.
Oh, my mistake.
You good? That's a name they've been trying out. I don't think they're against Taylor as well, but it's they just pretty much been vibing with that one lately.
Gotcha.
They actually are a VTuber now too.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
They've been playing Team Fortress 2 a bunch lately. They seem to be having fun. I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, I heard that there was a big update for TF2 recently. First one
Yeah.
in many years.
A lot of wild news with video games lately.
Yeah.
It's always weird to me when people say nothing's coming out, and I'm like, dude, just like look into it.
Yeah,
There's this good stuff.
just because there's nothing AAA coming out, there's a new game coming out every day. I guarantee it.
Hmm.
And journalism's dead, so
Yeah.
it's The word isn't getting out, unfortunately.
Especially with Twitter dying, like that puts a big stunt on it.
Oh yeah, that was the town circle.
What's funny is I don't know if Elon had to do anything to Twitter. Like you could just buy it and probably keep going the way it was. Maybe it was losing a shitload of money, and I just don't know. He definitely could have
I mean,
made better choices.
I imagine there was a reason they did agree to sell,
Yeah.
but I mean, at that price point,
It was
I
because they
can't
had
imagine
the,
they were making that much.
it's because they had a legal opportunity to make $52 billion.
Yeah.
Like
And to lock him into it.
a website that was absolutely not worth that. Absolutely not worth that, and especially with the rebranding stuff he's trying to do, would have been significantly cheaper to just like do that from scratch.
I haven't been watching, like, I don't know if people judge their value by their stock prices or whatever. I mean, obviously their literal value, but what has been the reaction to the rebranding?
Whose reaction?
The general reaction to Twitter's rebranding.
Uh, I know lots of my trans friends are saying we're gonna keep dead naming it Twitter because he's allowed to dead name his child. But I don't see anybody committing to even calling it X still, just because it's such a bad name. So it's literally a variable. It's
It's not good.
It's just not good.
There's just nothing good about it. And considering X is predominantly equated to porn.
Yeah, they have the Twitter videos, or no, Twitter movies is a like official Twitter branch they had for like advertising movies, and they have not rebranded that to X because they would have to call it X movies.
Yeah.
Like
That's just not gonna look right, and it's not gonna be. It's not searchable. It's just such a dumb idea.
it's the stocks have crashed significantly.
That's what
The
I
sign
would
that they put up that really sucked already got taken down. It lasted 3 days, I think.
like a billboard.
No, he put a big sign of the letter X on top of Twitter's building.
I
And
heard.
to be
Oh,
clear,
like,
there
was
was
it a big
not
projection or?
No, like a physical sign. A
Oh,
really
geez.
cheaply, like shittily made sign that looked like it was like
He just went to Logo Daddy and printed something out.
like he like took pieces from the junkyard. It was
Jesus.
like it was like held down by sandbags. It was so shittily made, and it being the logo of his company says so much about him. Like
Yeah.
it's beyond satire.
Oh yeah, I think he's your edgy internet personality, but given
That's too much money.
way too many resources. Yeah,
Kev, Redditor.
like, and I mean, it wasn't terribly long ago that he was a figure that people liked and respected, which is just wild to me. All he had to do was not talk.
He had good PR going for him. He had a lot of stuff making it look like he was some super genius. There were like literally episodes of The Simpsons and Big Bang Theory where he's the guest, and the whole joke is that he's so genius and so revolutionary, and they keep going off that, and I'm like, is this a Simpsons thing? What? It's so weird feeling. Like it's just straight up propaganda, and I'm like, what? Dude.
But no, turns out like with enough energy and time spent online, you can tear down your own PR brick by brick.
It's so embarrassing.
Well, not to him. He's got money.
He can keep doing this if you were to do any business decision like this, you would fucking like crash and burn financially. But
Yeah.
because he has so much money, he can keep doing really stupid decisions like this, and there's barely consequences for him.
Yet.
Yet. I mean, he hasn't paid rent at Twitter offices in months, and landlords still haven't come at him for it. Assuming just because he's so rich, he can just do that.
Yeah, the hyper wealthy do that. Like they just don't pay, and that's how they're so wealthy.
Yep. I know that was like a big thing with Donald Trump, just infamous for owing money to people.
Yeah, and then tying them up in court so that they couldn't, pursue the money they were owed.
Yeah. It's slimy.
Then he did that to his lawyers.
And then no one wanted to work with him anymore.
I don't know. I think he still has a very fervent fan base.
Yep. It's a culture.
It sure is.
We are sitting at 44 minutes remaining.
T4.
Heard, Chef.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've been playing.
I watched.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I watched all of The Bear, all the new episodes. I don't remember if I discussed this at all,
I don't
but
think so.
it's a show. It's really it's good. I really enjoy it. It's just very interesting. I never quite understand the direction they're trying to go, because maybe I'm just used to a certain type of media. It's very like there's an overarching story, but it does feel very episodic, and so each episode feels kind of like its own thing.
Right.
And I mean, that's certainly a point to its credit. It's not innately serialized. It's about a chef who's kind of taken over an old Chicago sandwich shop, and he used to work at like a 5-star restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a lot of kitchen stuff, and it's very, very like ingrained in that culture. When I first started watching it, like season 1 gave me a panic attack.
Ooh.
Just from experience in working food service.
Yeah.
But
I do remember.
so it's
you saying
very,
that now.
yeah, it's very true to its roots, but season 2 does some really just incredible episodes. But
Sounds like it hits it on the head like SpongeBob does with food service jokes.
yeah, it absolutely does. Matty Matheson?
I'm not familiar.
He's a celebrity chef, and he's an actor on the show, but he is one of the non-kitchen people in the show, which I thought was really, really fun. But yeah, it's just it's hard to say. It explores like kitchen life and just kind of how that impacts the day-to-day.
It's a unique
But-
culture that a lot of middle-class people really don't seem to be familiar with.
Yeah. but it's been really good. Aaron, what were you saying you're playing?
Pikmin 4.
Oh, me too. I actually
Ooh.
just beat it today.
I have not beaten. I've been taking it very slow. I'm still in the.
It's a very good gradual game to play.
Yeah, I've been basically not quite 100%ing all the zones, but like getting them up to like 90 or so. So I'm definitely. I could progress the story if I wanted to, but I feel like I haven't gone through the zone that I'm in currently enough. I think that there's post-game content, so I'm not super worried about it.
Yep. It's a pretty good time. I enjoy it.
I'm happy to see more Pikmin because the franchise has been kind of stagnating for a while.
Yeah, I know Pikmin fans are going insane for a while, like really desperately, just like
Just come on, anything.
Pikmin memes are their own thing. You just have to
You get to
look them up and
experience
see for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're their own breed of fandom.
kind of like Homestuck.
Yeah, that kind of fandom. For the good parts of it.
Yeah, it's been good. For the most part, it's a little easy, but there have been a couple areas that have been like, ooh, wow, that jumped up in difficulty.
Yeah, I appreciate it being like Pikmin 2, but like they got rid of a lot of the difficult like bullshit parts.
Yeah.
So it's like it's part of what makes it easier is that there's not random bullshit happening sometimes, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, I just did a little like dungeon area where if you take too long, this like giant water beast comes out and starts.
Yeah,
running around
I just
the
did
area.
that last night
Oh
too.
my god, that part was like so stressful.
I like dropped my controller because I was like, shit.
Yeah.
It's the horror game.
Now, I don't have tons of experience with Pikmin.
Sure.
But my experience with it was very kind of key and tumbler in that it's like, oh, get a bunch of blue Pikmin here because there's a bunch of water coming up ahead.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of fire Pikmin here because same thing. Does it kind of subvert that in the same way a lot of Nintendo games have been lately?
I think it embraces that still. You do get dropped into like open areas, so you kind of have to figure out where you need which Pikmin. But if you really stick to the rules that they present, I feel the game's a little easy. And it could just be that, I have a big man adult brain and I can recognize those patterns and what they want of me. But I definitely lost a lot more Pikmin in the earlier games than I have this one.
Yeah, agreed. It's been pretty easy on that end. But on the art assets, they did really, really good in making things look really unique.
Yeah, it's super pretty.
Super pretty. The new Pikmin and the new modes with the new Pikmin are all really entertaining.
Yeah, it doesn't have a minigame that I dislike playing,
Yeah,
which is very surprising for most games, because usually it's like these minigames are an okay distraction or they're kind of annoying. These are fine. I kind of look forward to playing them. There's one where the game sort of split screens, and you have a certain amount of time to directly combat against another, essentially like commander or whatever of Pikmin, and you have to see who can get the most points from like bringing home objects and farming more Pikmin to get bigger and bigger objects.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool element. It's called Dundori Battle.
Now, is it multiplayer with that, or?
I believe so, yes.
yeah, you can do multiplayer with it as well.
I have yet to
And
try
awesome.
that out, but that sounds fun.
The thing that I would say like inverts what Pikmin has been all this time too is they add
The dog?
Yeah, the dog Ochi,
Yeah.
similar to how we have Olimar's name being a rearrangement of Mario and Luigi's being similar to Luigi. They now have Ochi being similar to Yoshi. You ride on him frequently. He's basically like a huge overpowered Pikmin, but there's only one of him, so like it's not like you can reproduce and go crazy with it. It's a simple concept, but it goes a long way with what it adds to how you play the game.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that it made the game too easy because now you can gather up all your Pikmin and go across water instead of trying to figure out how to traverse around the water.
Yeah,
But they still
convenient though.
It's convenient, and they still gate you off. Like there are platforms you can't reach from the water, so you still have to figure out how to get up there.
Yeah, freeze in the water.
Yeah.
That's fun.
You can freeze the water. You need a crazy amount of ice Pikmin for that. You'll need like 80 or 100 to freeze a really big thing of water, but you can.
Does it sacrifice them or?
Nope. Well, I mean, they have to stand still, so in that case, you're using them, and they can get attacked. But it doesn't, like, convert them into Pikmin energy or whatever.
Because that's what I look for from like a Nintendo game these days is like multiple ways to get across an obstacle.
It's got that to an extent. Not nearly as much as, like, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, it is very open-ended though. I've noticed that some of the ways you find some things are designed so that you can find them in different orders.
Yeah. Like, there's no order, really, of, like, which colored Pikmin bulb you find. Like, there is in the fact that it could be in a later level, but once you unlock that level, you can just go find it. And then you can get different Pikmin that you can then spawn that have different effects. Like, the yellow ones are lighter and dig better, but the red ones are fire resistant and I think stronger a little bit.
Mm.
And then there's like purple ones that are big and can take the power of 10 Pikmin instead of 1. So they're just stronger, they can get more done, but they're also slower. Stuff like that. And you only have like a certain cap of how many Pikmin you can have at once, and you can only have 3 different kinds out on the overworld.
Oh, cool. Do you like choose a loadout then, or?
Yep, you can pick up to, like, currently I have a cap of 70, so I can pick up to 70 Pikmin out of, I think I have 6 different kinds, and I can have 3 out at once above ground. You do go below ground, and then you can have as many as you can pick up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love kind of it's more RTS like that in that way, it seems.
Yes, it's very much Nintendo's answer to a puzzle RTS.
Yeah, it's definitely an RTS. It's a very interesting take on it.
That isn't, I guess, Fire Emblem or Advance Wars, but, you know.
I recently got my partner into the series, and like, I remember, well, she'd been wanting to get into it for a while. She had some like younger experiences, but she wanted to like get a full embracement of the series.
Right.
But when she like finally got to like give it her all, she was like, "Huh, this is like StarCraft, but like chill, and I'm not stressed out all the time by all the tasks I gotta do."
Yeah, the games aren't super hard unless you're either trying to be very efficient or are trying to not lose Pikmin. Because there are people that play those games and not lose anyone. They're crazy, and I don't know how they do it.
No, my partner, when she was playing Pikmin 3, she apparently was like restarting every day if she lost any Pikmin because she loves them too much and didn't want to lose them.
They're too cute, and the game makes you feel bad when they die.
Become little ghosties.
Yeah.
They go, oh.
Yeah. Ow.
They're living creatures.
They are.
They have that French commercial that has like lyrics for the. It's singing about how the Pikmin will like sacrifice themselves for you because they love you so much, and
Oh no.
it sounds like it's nice at first, but you think about it further, and you're like, oh wait, am I the bad guy? Oh no.
Are we the baddies?
We are. We're just a couple baddies.
The Pikmin love you. I know it was thanks to Pikmin 4 coming out, there was recently an interview in which they've revealed that Pikmin, the very first game, had started development when the Super Nintendo was around.
Holy shit.
Yeah. they weren't even trying to get it on the Super Nintendo because it was like at the end of it, like 1995, I think.
Yeah.
But they were like developing it for the N64. They couldn't get it. They couldn't get the game concept together in time because it went through lots of iterations, lots and lots of development that we're only now learning about.
Huh.
But it's very cool.
I would love to see what would have been of like a SNES Pikmin.
It'd be so cool.
I mean, with like the camera angle of the original games, I could definitely see it being a 2D game and working.
Did you ever play
just
the
fine.
SNES Dune game?
No, I have not.
It was a resource management RTS.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, the newer movie got a lot of like aesthetic inspiration from that old game.
That looked cool.
Yeah, everything's like obviously a lot of it's from the David Lynch movie, but you know they make amends because they're working on a 16-bit console.
Right.
But it's so cool. It's very, I don't know, very slow to start, and then you're immediately kind of in over your head because it's an RTS like that.
Yep.
Every time I revisit the Super Nintendo, it's just such a cool aesthetic to me. Like, I've revisited like NES games here and there. As time goes on, I revisit those less. I notice they just don't
They're very,
keep my attention well enough.
they're very, for the most part, they're generally very clunky.
They're very clunky. I do like chiptune music, but it's a little weak sounding just because the hardware was more limited at the time.
Yeah.
The way that it ages makes it less pleasant to play in the same way that like jumping ahead a generation of the Super Nintendo where it is MIDI music, but there's enough instruments and stuff to make the music diverse.
Yeah.
Like N64 MIDI music as well. It's getting better quality. Visuals are starting to get better. Game design had gone through enough cycles to where more of it was starting to get routine too.
Yeah, except for they just switched, from 2D to 3D, which is a whole different ballgame.
Do you know that Mario 64 was developed in only 1 year?
Cheapers.
I think it would have had to be.
Yeah, no. It's just crazy to me because like it did so much for 3D video games as the entire industry. And that was just done in 1 year by, I guess they just pulled the right card. They made the right calls really quickly in, but it controls so differently than other attempts like Bubsy 3D did earlier.
Well, you had people like, they talk about how, I think it was Sakurai who saved Pokemon.
Yes.
Not Sakurai,
Or
I
not
think it'd be
Sakurai,
Iwata.
yeah.
Yeah, because he just was a super genius coder, and they just had, like, they were all like that on their team, because their team was like 6 people back then.
Yeah, I know. Like, Iwata sounds like a fucking myth. The fact that he's a businessman, like, he doesn't.
The fact that he's
fit
alive.
anyway.
Oh, Iwata isn't.
Oh, Iwata's not. Oh, that's right.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Satoru. Yeah, Iwata.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a reason why, like, aside from just Japanese culture or whatever, that he is still renowned in the company. That's you've probably noticed it, but in Breath of the Wild, Satoru Mountain. That's not in canon, but in real life canon, they've said that's just a monument to Iwata.
Forgot they did
Hell
that.
yeah.
That's also why King of the Mountain or whatever, Lord of the Mountain, there's a big horse that spawns there.
And
That makes sense.
infamously, the video game Yeek had a monument for Satoru Iwata,
Really?
which was really awkward and weird.
Oh.
It wasn't a Nintendo game. It was like an indie game, one that was infamous for its weird quality, kind of being like cringy and shit.
Which game?
And a lot of people call it Yeek. It is Y2K.
Oh, yeah.
The 2 is the 2 eyes, so people just call it Yeek because people like to make fun of it because it's a silly game.
It could have been better. It looked really good in the pre-release stuff, and then it was just, I don't know. It just didn't come together for me.
There's a lot of heart put into it for sure.
Yes.
You can definitely say it tried.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not good though.
It embraced the cringe.
The cringe.
Or,
But yeah, that game has
like
a,
it.
they have a gravestone for Iwata in that game, and I'm like, I get it. You guys probably idolized him and you wanted to pay memory to him, but it's weird if you're not like a personal friend of his and you're putting his grave in your game. Like,
I think putting
Yeah.
a grave is kind of weird.
yeah. Like, there's other graves in the graveyard that have like jokes on them, like, here lies the developers. They worked themselves to death working on this game.
Right.
I'm like, okay, but then you have this real. Why did you do that? What?
It undercuts the message.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if he had like a little off area with just his shrine or something, but I don't know.
And that's just it, like a shrine, but like a grave.
Yeah,
It's more sending a message than paying tribute.
right. Good idea, bad execution.
Hmm.
I watched a playthrough of that. I didn't actually play it myself, but like it just the main character is so unlikable.
I know someone with the same name as his, who I really don't like, who is exactly like looks like him and acts like him, and it's really unpleasant to me.
They based it off them.
You'd think so. Yeah, like I get that you're like supposed to not like the main character, but there's got to be some connectivity. If you just make him an asshole with no redeeming traits, like you try to.
Why do I want to
Why do I want
play
to
his
continue?
story?
Right.
They try introducing like redeeming traits, but like late into the game, like way after he's made a bad like introduction for himself, and he's just insufferable. Like this is not good.
Yeah.
Another RPG I'm looking forward to coming out. It's called Sea of Stars. It's another new age old school RPG.
I'm also not familiar.
I think it has the composer from Chrono Trigger.
Ooh,
Oh
that's
wow.
That was one of their big selling points or whatever, which that in my eyes, like, that's a cool get, but I don't know, hyping that up feels a little weird to me. But I get it. You
Yeah.
wanna billboard the names that you got.
Have you heard of the new game released? It's an indie game as well, but it's by the studio that made the Katamari games.
Maybe.
I don't remember the title. If you'd be able to look it up, maybe. But it's like look at Katamari Dev's new game. But it's basically you know those like little fake mobile phone game ads that you'll get on YouTube or whatever, the infamous ones that like aren't real.
Oh yeah, it's just like either pulling
Oh, the puzzle, yeah.
hooks out of a castle or just something scrolling side to side and growing.
Yeah. And those aren't like real things. Like those aren't you download the game and it's nothing like that. They're always lying. But the Katamari devs decided to go ahead and make them into real games.
Hell yeah.
And it has a really funny title too.
I can see why you didn't remember the title.
Yes.
It's called To a T. Like TO space A space capital T period.
don't think that's it. No.
Oh, well, that's one of them they're making. It's a
Called like, hey, you like those games? It's a really long title.
Oh, okay. Well, let's find that.
Because I know the creator made a game, and this is old news by now, but I think it was Hohokum, or no, that was the Hold Hands game, I think.
You
Oh,
talking
is that
about
the
Watam?
It might be Watam, where you just have all these different characters and you make them hold hands to do different things.
I think so. Hard to say. Was it called Hey, Have You Ever Played a Game?
Is that part of the title or is that the full thing?
I'm fine. I'm figuring it out. No, I think that was a. Nope, I think that's
He's
a.
the sheriff around here, but he's also kind of our
Librarian.
Jamie.
Never said I was good at this.
He never asked you to be.
Yeah, wow. It's weird that it doesn't come up whenever I search on Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finding Kranken's time travel adventure. I don't think that's it.
No. Okay. Interesting.
This game might be harder to find than you think. What was the premise of the game?
It's those fake mobile video games.
It might be called
Those like
To a T.
those ones where you have to like solve, like pull rings, like solve a puzzle.
Oh, okay.
Did
this
they
one-
advertise anything that they're kind of like building on that, or
What's up?
have they advertised anything that they're kind of like building on that concept though?
I've just seen like news articles for it on game sites.
Gotcha.
To a T is about a girl stuck in a T pose,
What the fuck? That sounds amazing, though.
and it's a 3D narrative adventure game. I don't know what
I will
that.
definitely give that a shot.
Yeah. They also discover a new ability granted to them by their extraordinary posture. Start to uncover more about their mysterious lineage. I mean, sure. Oh, player customization, I'm in.
Customizable T-pose.
No release date.
Gotta show dominance.
That's right. I prefer an A pose.
Hmm.
But that's just because it's...
Is that where you bend over at the waist and just wow?
Uh-huh.
You know you. I was gonna, but
It's called a D pose, if you know what I'm saying.
A D battery pose.
Ooh. Nice.
that charges him up.
Enlarge Kirby.
Oh no, we didn't get an enlarged Kirby for a while. If you look in the background, there's a growing Kirby that will consume us all.
One day,
Maybe
blessed
one day,
be his name.
Yes, maybe one day we'll find the cure and find a shrink Kirby, and then the battle can truly begin.
It's that picture of the scientist holding up a vial that just says "Finally, shrink Kirby."
I like the original American design for Kirby where he was white.
Don't we all?
He had really weird animated commercials where he looked very different.
Is that just because the games were black and white?
I'm trying to remember what the reason for. I think it was just because they didn't want to market a pink character.
Oh yeah, America won't
In
buy
my-
something pink.
Yeah,
Games are for girls.
games are for
And pink's a
boys.
girl color.
Smash cut to the Barbie movie selling out.
Yeah, when they embrace it, they do pretty good jobs.
Yeah.
I like Super Princess Peach. I said it.
Wow. You're the only one. No, I'm kidding. I just never played it.
Hot takes out here on 10 paces.
Yeah. Try and censor me.
I mean, I could,
Hmm?
but I won't.
I could.
Could. Now I could.
I love that Ben Shapiro says that his producers dragged him to the Barbie movie.
Yeah, they made me go.
I didn't have
made
a
me
choice.
I didn't have a
They
choice.
made me give money to this movie that I don't like. We as a team spent a lot of money on this movie that we are against.
They made me rent out the entire theater for the whole day.
And then I purchased Barbies, which again I used my own money for and gave to them, and I don't like them. I swear, guys.
That is not
Point
my
made,
collection from
Ben.
childhood.
The way that he says it's the most woke movie ever, too. I'm just like, does that mean? That word doesn't have any meaning anymore when conservatives use it. It's just a buzzword.
It's because they objectify Ken and treat him like like from what I've heard, like Ken is treated as chauvinistic people would treat women. I haven't seen it, so I don't know for sure.
I haven't seen it either, but it sounds like what they'd be going for, yeah.
Travis could expound more on that if he felt like it, but obviously don't have to.
It's... Well, I've just got a leftist cuckolded viewpoint of the movie. So,
Well, cuck us up.
Ken is... I mean, like, he's not much of a character, and then he comes into the real world, and then learns about patriarchy.
Okay.
But he's you know, he's Ken. He's a himbo character.
Right.
And so he has to, I guess it's pretty woke in that he has to learn and process his own emotions.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people had, or a minority of people, I should say, had an issue with, is then they thought about their own emotions.
No, I don't want to
That's
analyze.
not very manly.
No. Everyone knows you
Ben
leave your...
Shapiro wouldn't emote, and he's really manly.
I
Swear,
guess
Ken's not more manly than him or anything.
You should have renamed him Ben instead of Ken.
Kenny boy. I hear so many people call him Benny boy. It's just so funny to
That's
me.
so great.
Like, everyone that hates Ben doesn't even take him seriously because he's not a threat. He's only rich. That's where any threat comes from.
Right, and if you're richer, then you get the card to call him Benny Boy.
Benny boy.
Or if you know that you can fight off his team of lawyers.
You know, Tucker Carlson tried a fucking Twitter exclusive TV show.
What?
Oh boy.
It apparently had good numbers on the first day, but then it just fucking crashed. Like, people lost interest immediately.
I feel like anything...
Maybe because Twitter's not the right audience for that.
Maybe. I feel like anything that comes out is going to have pretty good numbers initially, because you're going to have people hate watching it.
Yeah, that's a big thing, too.
That's why
People
Velma
are very
got...
curious.
That's why Velma got any sort of ratings.
That's part of it, but also just... When you think about what a casual viewer is like, they just see Scooby-Doo, they just see new Scooby-Doo series.
True. I mean, that
They
sucks.
don't know about, like, the cartoon nerds and what they think about it.
I
I
would
give
not...
that a fair shake too, because like I didn't want it to be another. I didn't know where like the criticism was coming from, so I didn't know if it was going to be like another Barbie movie thing
Right.
or
Yeah.
a pre-Barbie movie thing where it's just like I don't like it because it's about a girl, but no, it was just
Just bad.
pretty unbearable. Yeah.
I did not...
Mindy Kaling, if that's her name, is the person behind it. and I've
Oh,
always,
yeah.
like, she's always really annoyed me, so...
Oh
knowing
yeah,
that
she's
heavily
kind of a
involved.
bad person too.
Yep, from what I
She's a
understand.
TERF.
Yep. Not cool, dude.
I'll be honest, I didn't see any of Velma. I heard enough about it that I was like, I don't think this is going to interest me.
Yeah, same.
It it, in an era where we have such genuinely funny and thoughtful content,
Mhm.
it goes out of its way to not be funny or enjoyable.
Yeah.
It looks like it has a very miserable just tone.
Yeah. And it could have been good.
It really could have been.
Do you think it was always intended to be a Scooby-Doo spinoff, or do you think that change happened later?
I know there's been a lot of suspicion that was the case.
That would make sense, yeah.
Especially with. So it's interesting with Shaggy, they have an interesting idea for a joke with him that could work really well, but they don't play into it. Because the joke in this is that like he's constantly like against drugs, and he emphasizes that he doesn't do drugs.
Right.
So doing that with Shaggy, oh shit, like if you have this new dynamic where he is just really anxious all the time, that's the joke. He's paranoid. Maybe you can make him do drugs. That'll make him
Chill.
handle things a lot better or something like that. That's a good premise.
Yeah.
They don't. It's just, haha, he doesn't do drugs in this version. Also, he's black, so he can't do drugs, so that would be bad. That would be bad
PR or whatever.
PR, because that's how people would receive it. The whole, like,
It's just,
focus
all
group
the
testing
jokes are
stuff.
very one note. Like, I've never seen something try to do meta out the gate and just handle it so poorly.
Yeah, I heard that was a bad issue.
Yeah, like they play off of Screamer tropes, but then they overtly say them right out the gate, and they're like, it's very Kevin Smith, where it's like, if I call it out for being bad, I get a pass, right? It's like, you can't just call it out for being bad, you have to do something about it.
Right. Otherwise, you're just being bad.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, guys, we got about 8 minutes left.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boy, ugh. Gulp.
It's what I go through every week.
Yep.
Think I'd learned.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
Alright, I'm really gonna take this one to heart. Cross my heart.
But how much do you hope to die? Would
Stick
you?
a cupcake in my eye.
Would you stick a
Como se,
cupcake?
como sa.
Okay, but would you stick a cupcake in your eye?
Good.
Yeah. Think about that before your next sentence.
Yep.
I will.
Wow.
Bring me the cupcake.
All right, but you're not gonna like it.
Somebody brings me a cupcake. I will film a video of me putting a cupcake in my eye.
I will remember this. I won't remember this in 2 weeks. It's gonna be gone.
Waffles. Haha.
Oh, that was a little so random.
That was epic.
Um.
That was pretty fish potato XD.
I've been so removed from cringe meme culture of that time.
You've lost the knack for it.
That's right.
I have my current partner actually met me around the time that we started DeviantArt's life. So the fact that she's known me at like that
For the greater
awkward
part of
at
your
the time.
internet career.
Yes, like
It's a
the
testament more than anything.
yeah, like that's like some absolute trust with somebody. You can't just do that with anybody.
You've seen my skeletons.
And they eated your cookie.
I made you a cookie, but then I eated it.
Nothing makes me feel old like Not that I didn't understand those, but nothing makes me feel old like old memes that I just say and then nobody gets it. It's just like, okay, you know, back like in 2008. Never mind.
Oh, really? With the owl face.
I follow people who are like unabashedly kind of swimming in their scene phase and like scene nostalgia.
Yeah, it's coming
And I'm
back.
like, how can this be nostalgia?
Yeah.
Man, emo culture is so big in St. Louis, and I'm like, I feel kind of on the outside because that was never my scene. But you know, I
You
see a
definitely
bunch of
saw
people,
it.
a bunch of friends and stuff, yeah, like reveling in it, and I'm like, and I mean, they're having big events and stuff, and you know, good for them. But I,
It's
you
not
know, I
your
want to see that
nostalgia.
for punk rock stuff.
Ska.
Yeah, I mean, ska culture is still around and strong. It's just still very niche,
Yeah.
even in the nostalgia scene. Cause ska never left. Fourth wave, baby.
Fourth wave.
Like Jer's coming back, head of the fourth wave.
This just sounds like an army that you're talking about. Commander of the Fourth
It
Wave.
is. It's the ska robot army.
I definitely wouldn't take on a ska bot.
They would pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
That's right. Unless I just don't put it down, then what are you gonna do? That's what I thought.
Then we're gonna skank at you.
Oh, fuck.
Hmm.
They've thought of everything.
They're dancing at us threateningly.
Well, I'm gonna move my legs like this, and I'm gonna come slowly towards you. And if you happen to meet my legs,
That's your fault.
Kicking around like Sanji.
ooh yeah. There's a Food Wars Sanji special edition that ran for 6 chapters that I really enjoyed and got to discuss with Kyra.
That's dope. I know they've done Food Wars crossovers. I'm glad that Sanji got some.
It is good.
Yeah, it's all Sanji focused, and it's just like Sanji as the main character in different locations throughout One Piece. But I wish they had done more chapters because it was enjoyable, and I enjoyed Food Wars. But the locations they pick are like in One Piece, 400 chapters apart each.
Oh, jeez.
Because they go to, they start off at the Barriade, and then they go to Alabasta. There's like a small, you know, side interlude spot, and then they go to the Okama Kingdom, and then they go to Wano.
They're just
And
hitting
there's so many.
everything. So
Well, see, that's my issue, is that they were hit. There's so many cool locations they could have hit that they didn't.
yeah, like they could have done Fishman Island could have been cool.
Yeah.
Reverie.
Mm-hmm. So many cool spots, like in the, you know, the first half. A lot of the stops.
Yeah, cooking with what's his chest shrub face?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but you know, the One Piece.
Gaimon,
Yeah, Gaimon, the One.
the real One Piece.
I hope that he's the real One Piece.
Me too.
I know he is.
That's why they all
And-
laugh when they see him, because they're like, "Of course."
It was Gaimon the whole time.
Yeah, Luffy actually finished his quest like 1,000 episodes ago, 2,000 episodes ago.
But he was too blind to see it at the time.
That's right.
The answer was so simple, I was too smart to see it.
Yeah, I must have been too smart. That's something I've definitely heard Luffy say.
The disgusting Netflix.
You know,
One Piece.
I'm holding my judgment. I will say it looks awkward, but we'll see. I mean,
Well, what got me was the scene where Luffy's like, "Okay, I'm sensing tension among the crew," and I'm like, "Dude, if Luffy saw his crewmates fighting, he would like kind of egg it on, you know?"
he'd be like, "What are you guys hungry? Like, what's up?"
I don't think he
Yeah.
would. Him like actually being tuned into their emotions. I know he's empathetic in some ways, but something like that, something silly like that, I don't think he would step in.
No, I don't think he'd notice, to be honest.
And he's not that hard a character to get right, but so few things do it right. Like that was the issue I had with the Funimation English dub, is that he doesn't speak in absolutes, which that's how Luffy speaks. He's very
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've been watching subs, so I didn't know they did that.
yeah, and it's not a hard character to tune into, but there's really not a whole lot of nuance there.
Well, something that does give me hope for the live action show is Oda has made them do reshoots.
That's
Hell
good.
yeah.
So I mean,
I know a friend mentioned to me that because Sanji doesn't even get the swirly eyebrows, that tells you a lot about what is and isn't allowed in the show.
that's
The
weird.
Yeah.
weirdness.
Buggy looks very edgy, and I understand trying to take some edge to it, but like I certainly think it would be appreciated if they tried to embrace a lot of the colorfulness of it.
Yeah. I think they would have to, but I mean, we'll see. It'll come out eventually.
Yeah.
And then we can forget about it and Netflix can cancel it.
This month.
Oh, wow.
I do like that Luffy is Brazilian, that they're all cast to their equivalent
Ethnicity,
races.
Yeah.
It's neat
Mhm.
seeing like Luffy actually. The person visually looks like him pretty well. They did a really good job with casting the actors, honestly.
But for the most part, it could be that I'm used to how they look now. So it looks a little weird.
I definitely think Luffy's dude like fits his look very well.
Yes. I think Sanji's hair could have been brighter.
Yeah, Sanji I barely remember besides being upset about no eyebrow.
I mean, not Sanji, Zoro's hair.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh
he
yeah, a
was
lot of the
washed out.
colored hair looks a little off. It looks like spray on hair color.
I would prefer wigs over that,
Mm-hmm.
because you can get it exactly right, or at least pretty well right. I know to an extent, because I mean, physics still exist in live action shows, sadly.
Yep.
Well, fellas, that's time. I guess get some finishing touches in.
Boy, here we go.
I know it just sneaks up on you.
Sneaking up. Wow, no, that really sped by since the last time I looked at the clock.
Yep. I looked at it and it was 44 minutes or whatever, and I looked back and it was like 17. I was like, oh, all right.
Time flies when you make good art.
When you're talking about whatever we talked about.
One Piece and
Oh yeah.
rights and shitty right-wing pundits.
I was listening to a video earlier that was just talking about how like just it's inherently just not funny. That's the issue.
Velma?
Like it's not a politics thing. It's literally because their beliefs, what their beliefs are, their humor is inherently just not going to be funny.
Yeah, I think
Oh yeah, the
If-
right isn't funny.
if you're not funny, you don't deserve rights.
Funny,
See, and now,
right?
now I can eat.
Clown masters.
Mhm. And I think that's completely fair and right and correct. Shouldn't even be argued or thought
Yeah.
about.
Don't argue with me,
'Cause I'm
because then
already
you're a
right.
snowflake.
What, are your feelings hurt?
Labor.
And that's all I got on that topic, because I don't know how much I can fake.
I think it was Stephen Colbert, who said, like, generally comedy should, like, if you're gonna punch with comedy, it should be punching up, because otherwise it's just bullying.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
very true. And if the people that you're punching up to can't take it, well, too bad.
There's reasons why.
But
I was just
according
talking
to
about how with Pee Wee Herman's actor dying today, how
I did not know about that. That's sad.
yeah, it's sad.
yeah,
That happened. People are not like shit posting, making fun of it or anything. People are like having respectful posts
That's great.
versus like Mitch McConnell just having his fucking stroke and people immediately like 10 minutes after posting memes about it.
Well, yeah.
Literally because he's built up this reputation for himself.
Yep. Not a fan in the public eye. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, Pee Wee Herman, quote unquote, messed up or whatever, but yeah, he probably
just
did
don't
more
talk
good.
about that. Has its own
oh,
story.
absolutely. Seemed like to be just a genuinely respectable and likable person, despite, you know, the one instance that everybody remembers.
Yeah,
That instance.
which is bullshit, and it was a fucking makes me mad. No, it's not quite bullshit, but yeah,
It's always been weird to me just because they're like, oh, he was jerking off in a theater, in
It
a
was-
porno theater, and I'm like, yeah,
yeah, it was.
Well, there's a place for it.
like, what's the issue?
If there's a
The
place
internet
for it,
wasn't around, people.
he should have gone to the bathroom. Excuse
Couldn't watch the
himself.
movie in there.
Yeah, they really do need to make peepholes for the movie.
Exactly. Each one of those seats should have had a divider.
It's true. You get a little fat curtain. Here's your fat bib. We don't want
The
you.
Alamo Fab House.
Oh my god! You know that's a business right there. You can sell different kinds of lubes. Oh, you can put the like how they used to do old like smoking bars or whatever. You can have your own special bib that they give. So they're like, number 34 today. And then just get your cum bib off the wall and hand it to you.
You gotta invest in a new one. This one, isn't moving like fabric should.
Jeez, it's a little starchy.
This one ain't doing so great.
This one's seen better days. Travis, tell me about your piece. How you feeling?
Pretty good. This is me running around, tagging up buildings, really making turf for the Charlatans.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love this.
Because I live in Shaw, and it's about this time this neighborhood saw some real renegade behavior.
That's right, you're cleaning up these streets. Well, in a way.
I'm making us known, and I don't feel bad putting that out there because by the time anyone who doesn't really know where I live sees this, I'll probably not be here anymore.
Yeah. I like
Whoa.
the spikes on the skates. What were you
Those
wearing?
are hella cool. Yeah, I love them. That was a good amount of detail you got in that amount of time.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
He's
Impressive.
a trained vet at this point.
Expedient. Speedy quick.
What about you, Davey? Tell me about yours.
I didn't have much lore that I'd necessarily come up with.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would like I definitely would have put a little bit more time into proportioning. I think a little bit looks off to me about the arms and legs, but I do really like the color choices that I picked. I like the
Oh yeah, that's fun.
like the cool jacket. The more I live on, the more I realize I do really good with embracing monochrome. So I definitely decided to do that. But I also like the red colors I use for my battery, and I also do really like purple and my hair color cyan color schemes. So a mix of all of that.
Hell yeah.
It's very
It
vibrant.
creates a really good, like, cohesive aesthetic.
Thank you. Yee.
Well, thank you again for coming on tonight.
Yes, thank you
anytime.
so much.
If you want more doodle buddies, I will not hesitate to hop back on.
Awesome. We'll keep that in mind. What have you been working on recently? You mentioned a game. Is that what your current focus is?
Yep. If you're interested in it, there is a trailer on YouTube for it. I would say like Twitter, but again, like I just think that website
Right.
is like, drowning. Never. It's so weird to predict what's happening with that website as a independent artist on there.
It
but
seems to change by the week too. Like it's crazy amount of flux right now.
and like them wanting to do AI art and saying that the new X website is powered by AI art, I might just stop uploading there. I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah, one day they're just gonna change their EULA agreement and they're gonna be like, any art that gets posted here is free use.
I have seen people posting something like this account is
Yeah, I've seen
fan
that.
made or something like that according to the new guidelines that Twitter has. It's yeah.
I've heard of some people making photos that like are made specifically in a way that it messes with how the AI learns and just corrupts a bunch of their learning. But I don't know how true that is or how much validity there is to that. But it's a cool idea.
Yeah, and I'd like AI where it's at now is very simple, and the more information it takes in, like it only degrades over time.
Yeah, I heard there was some, I forget which AI that was getting like math problems with like a 98% accuracy, and then like months later it's down to like a 4% accuracy or something.
It's so annoying to me because it's like really obviously just like marketed as like a concept, like, oh, here's AI.
Yeah.
It'll be cool if you let it exist for a while instead of like waiting for the product to be ready.
It's
Like,
because we've been hyping it up in science fiction for decades, so now people heard about it enough that they're like, oh my god, it's here. And it's not. It's a
There's
glorified...
also no
Sorry?
incentive under capitalism to actually let a
No.
product develop before it's released.
Nope.
exactly.
Get it out now. we
Disney
can make
wanting to
money.
hire AI artists too. Like,
Oh,
they're talking about that, and I just kind of like am hoping it'll happen just because like of the unintentional statement that'll make about Disney products. Like,
yeah.
it's wild. And
Well,
Awesome.
what is I want to put that link out for the YouTube video. What's the game title?
if you just search for Java Saga on YouTube, it should bring it up.
Okay.
It should bring up the YouTube channel. Make
Appar-
sure to find the most recent trailer and not the original premiere one because the visuals have definitely increased since so.
Let's see.
The latest
Awesome.
trailer should be called the Neptune 64
Okay,
because
yep.
it is the silly, crazy, wazy 90s inspired video game commercial we made for it.
Apparently, I've seen this game before because I've watched that original trailer before.
Oh, really? Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I appreciate that. Wherever you may have seen it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I wish I could tell you because I know Reach is real big.
I'm really looking forward to it. Keep putting that work in. I'm just excited to see developing on it and really, following Bliss with this project.
Thank you. I think it's very important that artists keep like making art right now because as we've been talking about with like capitalism being really shitty and AI art and all that stuff, and generally even before that, people were already like getting depressed and art has been like pumping out less frequently. So like it's important to make it right now to keep the flow going, inspiring other people too.
Yeah, inspire other people in the same way that the things you enjoyed have inspired you.
Exactly. Art is very cool and we can't let it die.
Very good sentiments, both of you. And if any of you are out there and have some art, share it our way. We'd like to see it.
Wow.
I know. That's so nice. Well, that is our show, fellas. Do you have any socials you're currently on that you want to plug, or just the YouTube? Keep an eye out on the YouTube.
We do have an Instagram where we post some Java Saga updates at Java Saga Game, just one word. If you want to follow us on Wild Old X, it is Java_saga. But again, like, I'm nervous with like AI
Yeah.
dumb stuff happening, so I wouldn't worry too much about that right now. I feel like that's not lasting long.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean,
But yeah, we're also working on a website as well, but
yeah.
when we have the free time for us to work on it,
Right. That is.
will be very cool though.
Unfortunately, that's life with any creative ventures. Whenever I got the spoons for it.
Exactly. Sometimes I make I've only made one, but I have ideas for more videos, so I do have my own YouTube channel as well. At least DM it to y'all, because the video that I made on there actually has a decent amount of views, so I actually don't feel like I need to even plug it.
That's up to you.
Nah, the game is mostly what I like to tell people about, because it's cute, and it's gay, and it's N64 inspired, so if you like the aesthetics of that era,
Oh yeah.
that's what I go for.
Yeah, I love low poly.
It's very inspired
assume
by
that's what you mean.
Yep. A lot of Banjo-Kazooie like sound design and stuff too, and some of the cartoony feeling of that game goes
yeah.
into it.
I don't think
Yeah.
you could find a better thing to take inspiration from.
Hee big agree.
Yeah, this was 10 Paces. We do this every Monday, 3 p. What the fuck is wrong with my brain? Jesus.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
You're gonna come up way too early.
Yeah. 8 p.m., not 3 p.m. Don't show up at 3 p.m. We won't be here.
Unless you're in a time zone 5 time zones away.
Maybe London or something. I really don't know. But yeah, 8
If
p.m.
you're out there in the
in the London sphere, in the EU universe. And then we also do some Thursday streams, same time, 8 p.m. Do you think we'll be doing one this week, Travis?
I'll be here
Hell yeah. So we'll see you then.
Hell yeah.
till that day. As we always say, you come, Rags, sir.
Thank you, Jeeves.